Actually, give me a minute. It's fun being a Kingdom Hearts fan because there's like whenever Disney brings out like a new uh movie and then you just look at it and go, oh, that 100% can fit into Kingdom Hearts. And this movie is definitely one of them. Also, like, this movie, I don't know if it's getting bad reviews or whatever, but, you know, you see people bad-mouthing Disney and all that stuff right now, which, you know, they've done some shady shit like the Secret Invasion, like AI shit. But, on certain things. On certain things like this movie, like, first off, this movie, I actually like. Art style actually looks really nice. I didn't think I was going to like it that much. I like it. It's nothing Spider-Verse-like, but it is way nicer than I think most other Disney movies have looked recently. But let me first watch this trailer, and then we'll get into this movie, because this movie is a love letter to pretty much Disney in general. Like, to every other Disney movie, this is pretty much a love letter to it. So let's just begin. 3, 2. Okay. That's okay. From Disney. Oh God, don't hit me, Disney. But pretty much this movie is a callback to old. It's honestly what this movie is? Because one, I really like this movie a lot. And let me just, I'll lower the audio if need be. First watch this, then
I wish and throw caution to every warning sign.
It's such a weird lyric. It should be, I would say caution to the wind, but I guess warning. I guess the idea to make it where you don't actually think.
Oh,
Like you can't predict what's gonna happen.
Magic.
I didn't do it.
What?
Last night, I made a wish on a star. And the star answered.
I'm talking. I am talking. Ha! Who knew my voice would be this low? I believe I have just been threatened.
Who would dare threaten you? I have no response to that.
There is a
This
traitor
Thanksgiving.
amongst us. Find Asha
It's a dead end.
with unsanded mahogany.
Oh, good find, Valentino.
My butt found it.
There's a story, a century, and the making.
I started this. I have to finish it. So I make this wish. What are you hiding? Nothing. And nobody.
What is going on in there?
Okay, ladies! Your wings can't fly, but your voices can!
Okay. So, this movie is an origin story for every side character. Some main character. No, for every side character in Disney. Or like every fairy tale. This movie is pretty much the origin story for spoilers. And I definitely say go watch this. This is an origin story for the fairy godmother. For the seven dwarves, which these are the seven dwarves. Angry, Doc, or is it Grumpy, Doc, Dopey, I don't remember the other ones. That's Bashful, Sneezy,
Hiding.
Sleepy.
Nothing.
I think that was all of them. But yeah, the origin story for that. Then you also have the origin story for stuff like the magic mirror. You have origin story. you have different, what is it? You see different things like Neverland. You have things for Sleeping Beauty. It's the origin story of like fairy tales in general, but mostly focusing on the side characters. And mind you, it's not like it's set up to be that. Like, I mean, like, it's not like it's... Let me rephrase that. It's not in the sense of saying, like, oh, this is the origin story of Maleficent. And it's not shit like that. But it's an idea of... Oh, I just realized, I think... Wait, is this all of their... Dopey, grumpy, happy, sneezy, bashful, sleepy... Is that right? Did I say sleepy twice? And then dopey. But, or Doc. Doc, sleepy, sneezy, shit, what was it? What was the H? I just said it. Happy, grumpy, I just said the last ones. You get it. The seven dwarves. It's not like this movie's going, like, it's not like this movie was, they're like, oh, fine, the origin story of of these characters you thought you knew. It's not like it's straight up that. This is pretty much a love letter to Disney in general. And mind you, I'll say there are some times where I'm looking at some of these characters and I'm like, oh, they totally reworked some characters from other movies. Like, this is 100% Bruno. That's 100% Bruno right there. It kind of looks like Fred, I guess. I don't know. From Big Hero 6. But it wouldn't surprise me too. But also then, that's the thing too. This is, again, a love letter to Disney. Like, all the different references. You have different things. Like Disney's nowhere where it's never like done like references to other things. Like, hell, go watch Tarzan and you'll find in both the movie and Kingdom Hearts, you'll find Chip and Mrs. Potts in the camp where the colonizers or I can't remember, the explorers, and stuff like that. Like, in this, you'll find like the evil apple, the magic that like the bad guy has. It's like it takes the shape of let me see.
With your wish.
Let me see, where is this?
Talking
Dare threaten you.
Traitor amongst us. Find Asha.
It's a dead end.
with
Oh,
Let me see.
I started this.
It's green. It's green like because Disney likes to use green for bad guys. But also it's green, but then also it's shaped kind of similar to a certain like Maleficent dragon, which I have her puff here, but I don't want to go get it. I love the Maleficent like dragon design. It's so damn good. There's also like, it was on DeviantArt, but I'm not sure like if it's still there or whatever. There was this like Vampire Hunter AU with like Mickey and Oswald's like Van Helsing and like all this shit. And I remember Mickey could like summon like the Maleficent dragon and stuff to protect him because it's like a guardian of his house or something. I'm like, oh my god, I love that. I remember loving that shit. But yeah, like you have like the magic mirror and stuff like that. And like, if the thing is too, like I think this is probably one of the darkest Disney films. And I mean that in like a legitimate sense. Because what this does, like this guy with the dream, like, what is it? This guy, how it goes and how this movie starts out. Because it's really dark if you listen to it. Because the beginning opens up with like, the classic like, this is the family Madrigal, on this island, whatever the fuck. It's the song to catch the audience up to where you're gonna be, the city of Rosa, where it's ruled by a mighty king who learned all these magics, and because of his family being killed, like I guess his mother and father dying at some point, we never learned why, but because of them dying or at some point or whatever, he learns magic to then pretty much so that make sure like people's wishes are never snuffed out. And on your 18th birthday, you go up to the king, and the king will take what is the wish that drives you, take it out of you, and keep it. And by doing so, it's taking a piece of pretty much like your heart or your soul with you, taking it away and like locking it up in the tower. And then every so often, he'll decide to he said they make it sound way more evil. He says it way nicer, and it takes Asha more of a minute. Like, this makes him look straight like villain-like. Like, and he is a villain. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying this in the sense of like.
These will never be granted.
Not some, most.
See, like that. Like, it's like, he's like, well, like, not the dangerous ones. Which, like, you have, what is it? Like, the big thing is that Asha's grandpa, that he's turning 100 years old. What else is turning 100 years old today? Or this year? Turning 100 years old, and maybe have his wish granted. But when Asha finds his wish after she tries to become like this guy's apprentice, that's probably that's probably a reference to the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably what that is. To become Magnifico's apprentice, the king's. Magnifico says, "Oh, your grandfather wants to inspire the next generation." But what does that mean? Maybe he wants to start a rebellion. Maybe he wants to start this. And he's like, no, he wouldn't want to do that. And it's like, well, I can't let that happen. And he very much like keeps that dream away to keep his rule. But then also, again, on the flip note, again, on that same note, like, he is, like, people are affected by this. Like, one of the friends who's like, everyone, like the seven dwarves, Asha's friends here.
What are you hiding?
Asha's friends here, they all are under the age of 8. They're all under the age of 18, except for this guy here who is 18, who's had his wish taken from him, and apparently he's more depressed and sleepy all the time. Everyone's extremely docile and just loves the king and doesn't question anything. Is just very docile with their wish taken out. And I'm just like, holy shit, this is a dark ass like story. Like, you think about it, like, they took a piece of your soul and he's just keeping it there. And pretty much Asha, after the king says he won't allow that to happen and most wishes won't be granted, she has her like longing song where she makes a wish. She summons down this star. She summons down this wishing star, which starts to able to grant wishes. And we slowly kind of see the ball rolling of, like, she wants to go get her grandfather and her mother's wish. At one point, she's only grabbed the grandfather's wish. And, like, the thing is, too, like, at one point before that, she goes, like, Grandpa, don't you want to know what your wish is? That way you can try to make it happen. Like, no, why would I want to know a wish if I can never make it happen? And, like, it's a very depressing kind of thing. I'm like, holy shit. Like, I legitimately, I'm like, holy shit. And that's the thing, too, like, I want, like, there's some like new movies, there's some old movies in Kingdom Hearts that I want, like, yes, like, I want to see Treasure Planet. Yes, I want to see Treasure Planet in a movie, in a video game. Hell yes. But also, like, a lot of new movies, like, I knew, like, okay, yeah, of course they're gonna have Frozen in the last Kingdom Hearts game, and honestly it was the worst level. But, like, I want a wish level because this is, like, some dark-ass shit. And, like, the idea of having a piece of you taken out, and honestly, could probably match up with Sora. If, like, Sora doesn't remember, like, who he was before he went to the Quadratum, which is where he's at now after the events of Kingdom Hearts 3. Spoilers. He doesn't really make it out. But, yeah, like, see Sora kind of see that, like, people who have their hearts taken out or piece of their soul taken out, like, holy shit, yes. And again, there's references all throughout this movie too. Like, there's points where, like, the star starts making plants start talk and come alive, and I'm like, first off, I didn't catch on for a minute. I was like, that seems very like Alice in Wonderland. Like what is this? The origin story for Alice in Wonderland? And then there's, like, towards the end of this song when this happens, there's a point where there's a little Bambi. There's a stag, so there's an older older deer, a mother deer, and then like a little baby deer. I'm like, hey, look, it's Bambi. And then the bear named John for Little John he's like, the deer goes, hey, John, thank you for not eating me. And then John goes, no problem, Bambi. I'm like, oh, shit, wait a minute. I'm like, hold on a second. And then, like, even then, like, Asha, technically, I guess, is the quote-unquote first Disney princess, too. At least to set up the idea of the longing young lady who then has a magical talking friend. Magical talking animals. And then you have other things that eventually that later on. So spoilers kind of a little bit. Like Asha wears a very similar dress to a certain fairy godmother. And at one point she gets a little wand that she uses in a fight to like make carriages start walking out of plants and dresses appear. Or talk to animals. Like, I'm like, okay. And like there's a bunch of just small little references like this. The guy's at one point saying like, my dream is to build a city for mammals who can wear clothes like a Zootopia. Got it. Like, there's so many like good little like references in here. So even like the ending reference where the point with the grandpa, like 100 years that he wants to inspire next generations. And it's just like, and then I'm like, okay, I kind of catching on where it's kind of going. But then at one point where he plays a certain song at the very end after credits, I'm like, okay. It's like, spoilers, I guess. He becomes a storyteller of sorts. And not saying it's a certain person, but like it's a certain, like, almost like a representation of a certain thing, whatever. And like he becomes a storyteller of sorts, which I assume then he starts telling these stories to people and they get changed over time to many different stories. And legit, and like there's a bunch of references there I could name off, but like just go watch it. It's a really good ass movie. And here's the thing too, like one spoiler, right? Go watch it. I like it. A little bit of a spoiler. And like there's things too, like one point a bad guy has everyone a kingdom trapped with like these vines that kind of appear all around, which is a reference to Sleeping Beauty. And again, there's origin stories for certain villains as well as certain like fairy godmothers. And even then, there's that point where the queen gets a magic mirror, and all I'm thinking is, does this mean that queen's eventually going to become evil? I mean, that seems where it's kind of going right now, right? Like, if this is the origin story of every side character, and apparently, like, my sister brought this up too, like, apparently, like, the original drafts or whatever, like, had the star was actually going to be a boy, and there was going to be a love interest with Asha, which, no, and I say that because this movie is, again, like I said, an origin story for all of the side magical creatures, for the world of Wonderland, for the fairy godmother, for the magic mirror, for the apparently the evil stepmother, I guess. And like you even see the apple with the poison over it at one point too. But you have all of this. Sleeping Beauty, all this. You have all of this. This is the origin story that will eventually become all those other stories. And honestly, I would, like, this, Disney, like, if Disney is smart, like, extremely smart, like, here's the thing. And this would, like, I guarantee this will make them a shit ton of money. Remake the Disney movies, but spin them off of this. Because imagine that. Imagine like you could follow Asha as she becomes the fairy godmother. When you have a Cinderella story retold, and mind you, I'm not saying like remake it, like just tell the exact same story. No. Make a new Cinderella story, but now with Asha as the fairy godmother. Tell it in a new way. Maybe you have similar background stuff, but like have it a new story thing, new jokes, new kind of, maybe even more new plot lines. Hell, with Cinderella, you can mix the different things together from like the other movies with like the stepsisters and stuff. Like you could do that. Like, and as the thing, like they could take like they're already remaking shit, but live action. Why? Remake other things. Imagine, because they even opened this movie up like the old story, like the old Disney movies with like a book opening, which mind you, I would have loved if they made a practical book like those other ones, and then it switched into this. I love the art style. Honestly, art style is really nice. It's again nothing Spider-Verse, but it is a nice ass like art style and everything. And I thought like it was gonna get annoying at some point. It didn't. I love her dreads too, but you could literally do stuff like that. You have the Cinderella story with Asha being the fairy godmother, and/or eventually, and like hell, you could have Asha be a part of that too, as a character that pops up more. You could have, I guess this would probably be kind of sleeping meeting there a little bit. You could have these seven freaking helping the next Snow White, or helping the new Snow White with whatever happens. You could have the queen of the kingdom of this kingdom here be the next be like the evil fairy, the evil stepmother, eventually become the evil stepmother at one point. You could have certain other characters pop up again from like the magic mirror and all that stuff. There's so many different, like, you could, like, literally, Disney doesn't want to Disney wants to kind of remake old movies. Fine. Do it. Do it. Let this be the start of it. But each one has an art style that looks kind of similar to the old art styles, and like just build off of it. Because again, I think you have a good basis here. You can have that. Also, mind you, there are some, like, it's weird they do that. It kind of adds science into this a little bit. Because they're just saying, like, oh, why can you call that a star or whatever? It's like, because we're all made of the same thing. We're all stars. Which, mind you, there's the whole idea of, like, you know, you're all special. Which, yeah, sure. But also on that same note, we are. like everything that happened is because of the Big Bang that creates stardust and all this shit. And it all mixed together to create the Earth and the water and the planets. Like we are, like what are made of stars? We are made of that shit. We are made of like everything that's around, like everything like that. And when the world blows up and we're all turned to ash, we will then be made into more stars and shit. Like it's a weird, dark kind of way, but also like again, it's a weird ass theme in this movie that I like a lot. Like there's an underlying tone of darkness in this movie. Like again, just an entire kingdom that willingly goes to this king and has like a piece of their soul taken out, which will affect them, and just do it willingly and just be an obedience. I'm like, by God, this is dark. Like, holy shit. And hell, you can even have something to say like that's kind of the idea of like people growing up and letting their wishes die or like just go away, and then like you could say in the sense of like being young, like the young are able to like still hold on to those wishes and like can teach those people who've given up on them to start believing again. And like, by God, like this movie has a really cool messages in it. And I like, again, the art style is fine. The singing's hit or miss. Like, I don't know, like nothing against the voice actress for Asha. But I don't know, I feel like she missed every so often, like, the higher, like, levels when she's singing. Like, when I make this wish. Like, I feel like it should go a little bit higher when she sings at some points. But, like, it's not that bad. And it's not that bad. But, like, that's just me. But, yeah, and, like, I liked, again, it's a return to fairy tale type shit, but it is legitimately, I wouldn't say it is like my favorite Disney movie or anything like that. No. But I do say like, this is probably one of my favorite like Disney movies that have like an idea behind, like the idea of origin story for like all these stories, for Bambi, for all these, like every story there is, like at least fairy tales or at least the Disney ones at least, like the idea is that all of them originate from Rosa, this place. It all originates from this girl making a wish. When there's the blue fairy or the fairy godmother, most likely it's Asha. When, you know, you have talking animals, most likely it came from here because of the star. And because of the star that gave all these animals the ability to talk and stuff. You have, the 7 dwarves. You have the magic mirror. Like, how did he get trapped in the mirror? Who knows? And there's foreshadowing for that too. Like, it's legitimately like a fun movie. It really is. And like, again, it's kind of cool, like seeing things like, actually, was Cinderella the second feature-length movie that they made, or was that? I'm trying to think. No, because Sleeping Beauty was I think Sleeping Beauty was the second one, right? Because it was Snow White, and then I think it was like, hold on. Disney movies in order. All Disney movies release dates. 1930s, Snow White. Oh, Snow White, Pinocchio, Fantasia. Okay, there's a few of them in between. Yeesh. Fun and fancy free. Cinderella. Alright. Wait, Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. I know that's the first one. Hey, that came out in December. Cool. My birth month. Bambi, Salado, Caballero. Wait, I thought Sleeping Beauty came out. Did Sleeping Beauty come out after Cinderella? Really? That can't be right. Wait, Zorro, which fun fact, Zorro in Spanish. One thing I loved Zorro a lot, especially because like the whip and everything like that. Only until years later that I find out Zorro meant December 25th was when Sword and Stone came out. Only until later that I find out Zorro in Spanish means like high school years. That I find out it means fox. Snow White, baby. Whatever. I don't see it, which is weird. Sword in the Rose. Okay. But yeah, like it's cool seeing that, like, yeah, like one of the first the Seven Dwarfs, which were kind of like some of the first, like, side helping characters, helping like one of the other most famous ones, the Fairy Godmother. Which, mind you, yes, they don't look like how they did in the classic movies. But then again, the idea being that a certain person becomes a storyteller that tells these stories and it just kind of warps over the years makes sense then why they're so different. Why it's not, these 7 aren't exactly dwarves, or why Asha is a different skin tone altogether. But mind you, if this is a fairy godmother, that'd be kind of amazing. And the cool thing is too, like her grandfather, you see at one point, like you see like the king here having 2 roses on his thing for the Rosa, the city, but also the grandfather has one rose one, but then also a star one here. And I love the idea. I always love the idea of like 2 people who have like similar-esque powers or something kind of similar, because like he has power to take memories and stuff like that, or take dreams and stuff, where Star is able to, like, create them as well. But then Asha's, with Star, is able to, manipulate them together. This is a fun ass movie. I'll just say that right now. It definitely is also like 100% a modern Disney movie. Let me get that straight too. But like that honestly isn't bad. I don't think, like, it is that, like, characters are more confident. They are like have that more modern-esque humor and all that stuff. But even then, like, it didn't bother me that much. And honestly, the bad guy is pretty fun. But I will say too, and I did notice this, like when the king shows Asha the memory orbs, they have a whole song together. That it's the idea like, in my arms I'll protect you, and like stuff, something like that. And if I say that right now, in my arms I'll protect you, and then later on Asha starts singing, like without any context, you would think it's a love song between these 2 people singing. Nope, it's him singing about the orbs while she's singing about the orbs as well. But it sounds almost like a love song with each other, which I 100% know the reason why is so that way it can be played as a love song. and also like they could play it on the radio and like not need any context or anything like that. It's 100% that. Like that's 100% that. But it is still fun. Like it is still like there's still decent songs. Don't get me wrong. I would have liked songs that were played more into the main idea of that was going on, but I guess like in the context of the movie, it has its own thing. While altogether, it's like whatever. But yeah, like it's pretty fun. Magnifico's pretty cool, and like you could get certain things too. Like when Magnifico says, like mirror on the wall, who's the prettiest one of all, stuff like that. Because he is very self-absorbed, which is kind of great. But yeah, this movie is legit. This movie is legitimately fun. I legitimately think it's pretty great. And like again, people are kind of bashing it, which bash Disney fine. They've done stupid shit, and they have sweatshops that make Disney merch. I ain't gonna lie. Like I ain't lying. I understand that. But also on that same note, I love the stories Disney's tell. I love going to the parks. This world is made of evil. That's the best way I could say. At least they tell stories to then make that. At least they tell stories that people can then rise up and make better choices and try to be not evil as certain companies are. Also, they made the Owl House, which even then whatever. But I love the Owl House. But yeah. So then some of my favorite movies are Disney, but yeah, so in a way, how evil the company is, 100%, yeah, it's evil. But on that same note too, they do tell stories that make, I would hope, actual heroes in the world and like actually makes to where they're like, yeah, no, we're not doing what Disney, we're gonna make our own stories and make some beautiful things and art, or even if we are working for Disney, we're gonna make stories that, allow people to dream more, make things, and like that's the double-edged sword of it all. But yeah. But this movie was great. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Share videos I've done. Links to my face. Come share the rest of share videos. Hopefully enjoy this. This movie was fun. I really, really liked it. Tell me what you guys think, and we will see you later. But yeah, I like this. The design of her is actually really good, and by God, if they wanted to retell stories, stop with the live action stuff, do them all in like different art styles that are kind of reminiscent to the original movies, but then make it to where it's a new retelling, making modern jokes, fine, whatever. Tell it in different ways. Maybe Cinderella's still in the medieval times. Maybe you make it modern, but not without shoes. But I don't know. Tell me what you guys below. Things to watch. That's probably the most like overused Cinderella thing ever idea. But still, like animated wise, like hell yeah. But anyways, thanks for watching the videos. Hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you later. Legitimately.